Imagine you're a baby. You are completely new in this world. And you have this extremely deep connection with your parents. And your first word was barely understandable. But your parents, your mom and dad, they looked at each other, smiled and said, "Baby, you just said mama." Boom. A timeless moment for you as a baby, but also for your parents. Created out of love on one hand, and out of that drive to progress and communicate on the other side. 2 weeks later, you are at the table with your family. Beautiful moment. You're like in the middle, right? So you take that moment of trust and you take the spoon, put it in that mashed potatoes and put it in your mouth. You're surprised. First time in your life you made it. Everybody around you goes like, yeah! Slow motion. And boom. Timeless. Time stands still. Another boom moment. This time, you're in the living room. You get up, you hold yourself onto that table. You've done it 1,000 times, and you believe like, now it's the moment. So you take that first step, a bit shaky, and then you take the second step, like, whoa, and then you let go, and you take the third step, and boom, you hit your head. You cry. It hurts. And your mom, she takes you into her arms and says, "Baby, you've done so well. Great job. You took 2 steps." Well, again, trust on one hand, because your mom got your back. And then progress, even if it was just 2 steps. Years later, you're on the way to school by now. But you're on the side of the street, sitting there, watching a snail, how it moves slowly through the grass. We all remember that, right? And you just love to see how it reacts when you touch its whiskers. You love how it reacts and crumbles back into its house when you touch it again and again. You just love to learn. Meanwhile, school has started without you. The list goes on and on. What all these events have in common is that they are driven by love on one hand and by that intrinsic motivation to move out of comfort zone into the curiosity zone, into the learn zone. So love, connection to family, to our tribe, etc., and then to go out and learn and progress. That's how we work. Our brains and hearts took snapshots, images, sounds, maybe smells, but first and foremost, we remember how it felt, right? From the first moment of our lives to the last second, we seek these events. We literally run after these moments of love and progress. There's so many names for this. Maybe you've heard them before. Flow, serendipity, the zone, moment, the aha moment, the now, or eternity. Now and eternity, same thing? Yes. It's absence of time. That reminds me always of that timeless, creative story, the Genesis. 7 7 days, sorry. 7 days of creation. You know, it's land and sea, and I don't know the right way, but land and sea, light and darkness, and heaven and earth, and fish and birds, and so on. And it was all contraries, right? But it was all good. It was not good or bad. It was created out of trust. And if there's trust, you let go. And if you let go, you let it grow. And if you let it grow, you get into experimentation mode, you get into trying out new things, and you get into the flow, and then boom, another eternal moment, a moment of creativity. These moments are our natural drivers. It's completely normal, as you've seen before in these childhood stories, that children learn and progress on a daily basis, 1,000 times, again and again. It's just part of our human development process. And this process, this creative process, always triggered my curiosity. My final project 30 years ago at art school was about creativity. I wanted to know where creativity comes from. What drives creativity? Who is creative? I wanted to dig deeper because I had this firm belief that creativity is human and it's open source. I wanted to express at that time, but also today on stage, that we are all creative. All of us are creative. Here's the misunderstanding. Most people believe that creativity is a skill. Oh, you can draw, you can paint, you can write so well. I could never do that. Or you have these great ideas. I'm not creative. That's what so-called creative people hear a lot. But that's not what I'm talking about. What I'm talking about is this driving force that we all have in us, fueled by these timeless moments. It's the human essence. It's our life elixir. Without creativity, we die. We've seen it again before with these childhood stories. We would never talk, we would never eat, we would never walk. We would not learn or progress. Could this be the reason why 60% of employees don't like or even hate their jobs? 60%, think about that. That's crazy. We all pursue our careers day in, day out. We work from morning till the evening. And then in the evening, we send out that last email. We close our laptop and no boom. Every day. For years. For decades. You wake up at some point and ask yourself, where have all these years gone? My answer to this, the timeless moments are gone. This is my 60-year-old Corex proof press, surrounded by beautiful old type made out of wood and lead. Yes, it's a printing machine, but it's also a time machine. And no, it's not just nostalgia, it's the other AI, analog inspiration. And it lets time stand still. Today, I use this machine to help me and others grow. I've always loved to do that. If you want to grow, you have to actively, proactively pursue these timeless moments again and again. See, when you're at the press, it triggers something that we all feel but never really question. It's our relationship with time. People come to the studio to work collaboratively. Maybe artists, musicians, but also people from companies, to do team building activities, or to work on a brand or a campaign idea. No screens, no distractions, just pure hands-on collaboration. Let's be honest. In many organizations today, if somebody has a great idea, it goes to the head of. No, actually it goes first to the team lead, of course, and then it goes to the head of, and then it goes to the director, marketing or sales, and then it goes to the CEO. Sometimes it even goes to the board, and then even to the president of the board. That's crazy. If these people are not in the room, these decision processes take forever. They make endless reiterations and handovers. Original ideas literally get compromised to death, or they vanish in mediocrity. At the press, on the other side, people come in, they work together at the same time, on the same task, in the same room. All the decision makers. Decisions that normally would take weeks or months are being taken in a few hours only, and then it's done. Working with type, mixing ink, putting it on a nice piece of paper is like talking, or a spoon full of mashed potatoes, or walking for the first time. Letterpress machines are time machines, but they're also time-saving machines. I made a workshop with a high school a while ago. You should have seen these students while they working at the press. The smartphones didn't matter anymore. These two guys, in normal classes, they always try to sneak out a bit early out of class. At the letterpress studio, they completely lost track of time. Why is that? It's because letterpress is so old, it's new again for them. So, working with type, touching the wood of the letters, is like touching the whiskers of that snail on the side of the street. And then putting thoughts into characters and into words. And then cranking out that poster and boom. I had such a timeless moment recently again. I have many of these moments, but this one was remarkable. You know, when you work at the press, you have to work from right to left because the letters are mirrored. So I was setting the word evolve, and I started with the E, and then on the left the V, and then the O, and then the L, and then boom, there it was. The word love. You know, working with letterpress is like working with a mirror. Literally, but also symbolically. It always reflects back to you what you think, what you do, who you are. And it reminds us what it means to be human. It became the inspiration for this art piece, Love, Evolve. And it became the inspiration for this TED Talk and for the way I would like to treat people and for the way I'd like to treat myself and my life. So here's what I really like you all to do. Use your creativity. No matter if you're rich or poor, if you're young or old, if you can paint, draw, write, or not. Keep going. Keep loving and evolving. And use your creativity to inspire other people and as many other people as possible with as many boom moments as possible. Boom, 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 and now everybody, boom! Thank you.